Well, another point on Saturday, Charlie, what I really noticed was even at 2-2, you were very much trying to go for it and go and get that win. Is that something you really instilled into your players?
Yes, it's at this time of the year. Listen, the point's good, and it's that unbeaten run. We're looking to win as many games as we can to the end of the season. So they'll be set up and attacking, ready to win games, and they've got to do their defensive duty well because from all the positive we've got, it was I'd say a really sloppy goal that let them back into it. So it's something that we'll be working on and looking to win games to the end of the season.
And of course, you went down to 10 men. I know you were disappointed with the red card against Matt Worthington. Have you appealed that, or is he going to be missing for 4 games?
He's going to be missing 4 games, all because of although that there just isn't a good enough angle. I still think watching back that it's very harsh red, but unfortunately to get an appeal process going and overturning a red card, it's not quite as easy as you'd think. So unfortunately, he'll be missing for 4 games, which is a massive loss for us.
Going to say, and he'll be disappointed as well because he's had such a good season after a few years at Yeovil. It really feels like he's made his mark.
Yeah, he's in good form at the minute. He's a good player, and he'll be missed the next four games. But we've got some players ready to step in, so we're in a position now where we've got a bigger squad than we've had in the last probably 4 weeks. So it's a good place we're in.
Because you left, of course, Lawson Diath and Alex Bradley, who can come in to midfield on the bench. Was that a conscious decision ahead of the busy Easter period?
Yeah, as I say, I'll be surprised if it's the same 11 start on Friday as it is on Monday. So at the minute, I haven't really got to worry about that. My mindset's just on tomorrow. But that's something that I'll be thinking about over the weekend, about who needs to be changed. And I won't be afraid to make changes if it needs to be.
And a word on tomorrow, your first match as interim manager at Hewish Park. You must be really looking forward to that.
Yeah, even in the Somerset Cup, I enjoyed being at home with the fans, but it'll be a slightly different atmosphere tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to it, and we just need to keep going on this run that we're on, and we'll be looking for the 3 points tomorrow.
It's another tricky game, isn't it? Aldershot, of course, pulled themselves a little bit clear of the relegation zone, but they'll be there trying to get the win, won't they, to pull themselves even clearer of safety?
Yeah, well, with playing Kingsley and the next 2 things, you'll hear me say it a lot, playing teams at the bottom isn't easy. So it's just a strange 3 games on the trot, actually, and don't really know what to think of it. But we've just got to do our own job, and that's going out there and working hard and attacking and trying to keep the goals out. As simple as that, really, isn't it?
It certainly is. And you spoke about squad rotation. Is Grant Smith going to be back in contention? I know Ted Can is coming to the end of his loan spell, isn't he?
Yeah, so Ted's loan is over, and he's done brilliant, and really enjoyed him, and he come in at a perfect time for us. Obviously, with Grant struggling with his groin, but Grant's strong now. He's trained. He was probably ready for the last game, but I think it would have been unfair to take Ted out if he's been doing well. But Grant is a top goalie, and he's ready to step in, and he'll be ready for the game.
Is there any update on Jack Robinson and Josh Staunton?
So Jack trained properly yesterday, full training, and he'll be back out there today. So it'll be too early for him for the game, but he's back in full training, same as Hunty now, and Staunts. We're still waiting to find out exactly how he's getting on with that. He still needs to see. He's got someone to see next week, and there'll probably be a bit more news on him next week.
Right, and of course, after tomorrow's game, then the trip to Weymouth. You know, you played in a derby. Of course, fans weren't there though. How excited are you to be in charge of a Weymouth game with fans present?
Listen, we know it's coming, and we are preparing for it as a staff, but we've got to be thinking about tomorrow now, and that'll be worried about over the weekend, and I think the club, the fans are all excited for that game, but we can't take our eye off the game tomorrow, and the next one's the most important, so we'll be focusing on that one for the next 24 hours.
Do you just sort of training having those 2 games in 4 days? Do you sort of give them a few more days off, or is it all guns blazing?
Yeah, so obviously we'll train as normal, preparing for this game, and then the weekend it'll be decided after the game how they are physically, what they need to do at the weekend. But we'll definitely be training before the game Monday. It'll just be what days we need to do depending on how they need to recover. So that decision will be made after the game tomorrow.
Amazing. Well, good luck tomorrow, Charlie.
Thank you.
Morning, Charlie. How
Morning.
you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Oh, this time of the morning, don't even ask. That was, like I say, yeah, 7 games to go. Do you reach a point where it's difficult to motivate the team in as much as, we all know probably not going to make the playoffs? I mean, I suppose you could argue that there's a miracle you could. But when it's kind of sort of just dwindling down to the end of the season, is it difficult to motivate people?
I would say in general, I think most people would probably say that at other clubs, but our boys are showing no signs of that at the minute. None at all. They're desperate. They're desperate to win and keep performing. We played a little like 11v11 phase play yesterday, and there was no players playing in that game who wasn't worried about winning on Friday. I can tell you that. It was a proper training session, and their attitude's been brilliant since I've taken over. And as I say, there's no signs of them taking it easy anytime soon.
Presumably, one element of the sort of the end of the season is normally players are playing for new contracts. Well, now there's a huge amount of uncertainty, obviously, as you well know. Is that taken away from their performances at all, in that they just don't know, what to expect, really?
I made up when I took over as interim. I said to them, simple as, if we win games to the end of the season, that's not going to affect anyone negatively. So whatever happens, wherever you are in your future, whatever the plan is for you next year, winning games will only help us as everyone, the club, the fans, the players. Whether you're looking for contracts here or elsewhere, you just got to learn to win. As I said, this is where you learn how to become a winner. So in your career, and they've bought into that brilliantly, and they're ready to go to the end of the season, whatever it takes.
And of course, I suppose it'll be hyped up a little bit now, because at least you've got a local derby, and Weymouth always been the bad boys, and you hate Weymouth and vice versa. So I suppose that'll help a little bit to jizz people up at this time of the season.
Yeah, obviously being around the places where there's the derbies coming up on Monday, but as I said, the players have got to keep their mind on the game tomorrow. There's plenty of time to get ready for that game Monday over the weekend, and we will. But we're focusing on Aldershot tomorrow, and that's what we'll be planning for the rest of the day today.
This is probably a pointless question, but I'll ask it anyway. There isn't any news on his contracts or anything, is there?
Yeah, luckily, when I took over, that's something that I'm currently not getting involved with. Obviously, the club is progressing well, and the owner has got his ideas of what he wants for next year and stuff. But that's nothing to do with me. I'm looking at preparing the team for the games on Friday and Monday, and that's what I'll be focusing all my time on.